In this video, we're going to show you how to install spark plugs on your Volvo XC90 located at the top of the engine. With the hood open, go ahead and locate the engine cover right here in the top center. It's just pressed on with rubber grommets onto some posts, so you're going to gently pull this up and off. Go ahead and set it aside. Now along the top of the engine are going to be 6 ignition coils. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now if you're going to be servicing anything in this area, it's going to be ideal if you go ahead and clean any of the sand and debris out of this area. We don't want garbage to fall down inside the cylinders while you're working there. You can use a vacuum. We're going to use some compressed air. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses when doing this. And let's go ahead and get going. Once you're satisfied with the condition and cleanliness here, we can now continue. Now across the top of the engine is going to be a series of your ignition coils, spark plugs, and everything there. There's 6 of them in a row. I'm going to go ahead and jump onto this ignition coil right here. And there's an electrical connector that goes right to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pinch on the back of the connector and pull that off. There we go. Sometimes these little tabs need assistance. You can use your pocket screwdriver to gently lift up on that. Now there's an 8mm bolt right here that is holding it on. So let's go ahead and use our socket extension and ratchet. Now all 6 of these ignition components are easy to access. None of them are harder than the others. Remove that bolt. We're going to be reusing that, so set that aside. Now we can simply grab the ignition coil and we're going to twist it up and out. Just have to work it around that harness. Just like so. Now what we're going to use is a spark plug socket. This here is a 16mm. And this is a spark plug socket because there's a rubber insert inside of it to capture the spark plug. When we loosen it, it's going to allow us to pull that spark plug up and out of the cylinder. So you gotta lower that down, press it on. Once it gets pretty easy, in most cases, you can spin it out by just grabbing that socket and extension. And then it gets super easy and it feels like it's skipping a little bit. Lift it up and out. Now when dropping our spark plug down into place, we don't want to drop it. We're going to use a piece of hose. And it's roughly about maybe 10 inches long. And what we do is we slip this over and push this on. This allows us to go ahead and feed this down. Get it inside the cylinder and start to thread that by hand. I'm going to thread that in as far as I can, just using the hose. Then once that snugs, simply pull up on the hose. That'll leave the spark plug down inside. Now the reason why we don't use the spark plug socket to feed that down inside and then thread it on is that in most cases when you pull this up and off, the rubber insert pulls out of the socket and stays on the spark plug. Then you have to put the spark plug socket back on, remove the spark plug, remove the rubber grommet, making it much harder to do. If you use that hose trick that I just showed you, then you can go ahead and transfer over right to a standard 16mm without that rubber insert. We can snug this down gently and then we'll torque it down. You want to go ahead and torque these down to 21 foot-pounds. There it is. Now if you want, you can go ahead and put a little bit of dielectric grease on the inside of the port before we install this. Just a little bit on the inside there. Let's slide this down and in. Twist that into position, make sure that it's fully seated. Line up so you can get your bolt installed. Let's go ahead and gently snug down that bolt. So once it bottoms out, just give it a little bit more. just a tiny bit, just want to snug it down. Go ahead and grab that connector. We're going to line that up on the coil and push it on. You're going to hear and feel it engage. Now you want to go ahead and repeat this process for the other ignition components. Go ahead and grab the engine cover, line up the hole with the oil fill cap. It almost falls right into place, and then push it down. You're going to feel the rubber grommets popping into place.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.